Style. Guitar sounds amazing. It sounds just as good as my made in Japan FG 180 I have in my studio up north. I think this guitar, it sounds just as good, maybe even a little bit better, because it has a little bit more of that kind of warm Martin sweetness in there, but with still that great. This guitar sounds like a made in Japan one. It says made in Taiwan on the back, but somebody told me that part of that whole thing with the made in Japan and made in Taiwan had to do with a distribution and licensing deal. I don't have all the particulars on that, but I mean, this guitar looks, you know, it has the same look to the age of the wood and the same sound, very, very, very close to my Japan FG 180. This is really a nice guitar. In fact, my son doesn't play guitar, but he heard me playing it last night and just goes, "Wow, man, that guitar sounds really good." And actually, when I bought this guitar, I met this guy in a parking lot, and people were, as I was playing it, people were looking over going, "Wow, man, that thing," you know, people are doing, I didn't even know. It was kind of funny that, yeah, it really has a sound. I'm in Dadgad, obviously. In fact, when I bought this, I was doing some flamenco techniques. I better move back a little bit. It's that percussiveness. This is really I am very tempted to keep this guitar, but man, I've got a lot of guitars already. I've got it in Dadgad, obviously. Not so much performance here, just trying to let you hear the guitar. Has a beautiful sound. is a really sweet guitar, man. It's got that great made in Japan sound, but it's got a little bit more of a warm sweetness in the bass. It reminds me a little bit of a really nice Martin, which is hard to find one with that sound. This is just a great sounding guitar. It's a Nippon Gakki, like I said. Somebody told me who's in the music business that, you know, some of the guitars, even that say made in Taiwan, were almost identical to the ones in Japan. They had something to do with a licensing distribution deal for different countries with different distributors. It had to have a, you know, a certain mark on it so they knew what was to go where in the factory. So I think there's a lot more to guitar making and serial numbers and all that than most people realize. But anyway, this really sounds great. I'm really, and I love the tuners have that nice kind of age kind of look to them, you know. And like I said, it just sounds tremendous. It really does. Anyway, I can barely put the, yeah, it's got a lot of dings on the top. There's lots of little dings and stuff and scratches and, you know, things like that. So I mean, if you're looking for something that looks like a new car, this may not be your guitar. But if you want something with a lot of that mojo, a lot of that made in Japan mojo, I love the color of the top. This is a sweet guitar. It's got one end pin missing. I have one on my desk I'll throw in, so there's a little, I put strings on it the other day and I forgot to push this one out, which is real easy to do. It's just stuck in there. This guitar sounded so good, I couldn't wait to get new strings on it and just play it. I can barely put the thing down. I pick it up several times a day, but I'll include another end pin too. And there's no case or anything, but I'm a really good packer. I can double box. But yeah, this guitar just sounds amazing. I love it for fingerstyle too. Has an orchestra of sound. In fact, the other day I was just putting new strings on, even just pushing the end pin and the thing started to kind of hum and everything. A lot of people don't realize, man, Yamaha really has a lot of secrets about making guitars, and they just really know what they're doing. Yeah, this is really, really a great sounding guitar. I'm going to really miss it. Hopefully it goes with just the right home. All right, folks. And like I said, you know, it's got some scratches on the back too. You know, like I said, it's you know, it's not. It doesn't look like a new car, but that's one of the reasons this probably sounds so good, because it was played, you know. But yeah, and it's also got some interesting silking patterns on the top. A lot of people don't realize that. If you can see that, there's little patterns of wood that go sideways this way, and that's indicative of really, really good wood. And every time you see that kind of silking patterns that look like that, it always ages better. So yeah, this is really, really nice guitar. All right, folks, take care.